they have the bodies of a boy, I know it sounds hard now, but if you have a body of a boy, how can you expect to live the life of a man or to represent a king, right? So that's why I think fitness is so important, because it gives you so many things and it makes you believe in yourself and have discipline at the end of the day.
Amen to that.
I love that. The body of a boy. That's so funny. It's so true though, because I mean,
Soft men is way too many.
Exactly what I was going to say. There's a lot of soft men, both internally and externally, and even when you first got on camera, Stefan, right? Didn't I say, like, I can see you take care of yourself. I can see your posture. You've got muscles. And I'm like, okay, before you even said a word, I can already see some of the fruit. Before you even open up your mouth, I can already see this guy's got discipline. This guy values his appearance. He takes care of himself. So all these things were already said about you without you even verbally having to say anything. Most men don't slow down enough to see, what's my body saying about me? When I was a cop, they would always tell us, make sure you clean your uniform. Make sure your boots are shined. Make sure your vest is clean. Like we get into fights and that would get dirty. So you would have to clean it. Part of that is because when a bad guy, especially a dude that's been around and done hard time, he's been through some shit. He sees like, oh, this guy's boots are dirty. This guy's vest, he's got crumbs on his shirt. This guy's unshaven. He's unclean. His fingernails are long. He definitely doesn't look like he works out. You know what's going to happen? He's more prompt to fight you.
Wow. Never heard about this. Never thought about this. It's so interesting.
It's true.
Wow.
He's more prone to want to fight you. There's been a ton of studies where this guy was literally running away from the cop already. Like he was gone. The cop was fat. He was not, not to demean him, but this is the real truth of the study.
Reality.
He was fat, didn't take care of himself. The guy he had already gotten away. Foot chase, gone. He turned around because he saw this cop not taking care of himself, turned around, fought him, ended up killing the cop, ended up arresting the guy. And they said, you already had gotten away. Why did you turn around to go fight this guy? He's like, he didn't look like it looked like. He took care of himself, so I thought I could take him.
Wow. Unbelievable.
That's a real thing. Yeah. That's a real thing. So the fruit that you present, I say that shows so much more of your character and integrity more than the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Thank you so much.
This is particularly masculine. I'm going to make a point here.
Yes, good point.
For a season, I worked in a juvenile detention center. Let's just call it that. So there were girls and boys there, and the boys hardly ever. It was crazy. The boys hardly ever fought with staff. Never, because the staff were hired just like you're talking about, Angelo. I mean, they were fit, strong, masculine men. So if these boys were getting activated, right? So 3 or 4 staff would come over and stand. They weren't being mean or aggressive, but just standing around them. They never fought. Girls would fight anybody, anytime. It's like it's hardwired into men to size up. There's the pecking order, and maybe that's uncomfortable. But what I want to add to, and I'll stop talking with this. But if you think that what Stefan did or what Angelo did or what I did, I haven't really talked about it that much, is somehow special or fabulous or unique, you've got it all wrong. This isn't, like, no offense, Stefan, you're not that amazing. You know, we're just dedicated. We've just decided that this is important. And I want to speak to men out there because my daily grind is working with people who've given up. And it makes me so sad. Like, and what I'm saying by that is I'm a mental health counselor. And yeah, there's lots of reasons why people are in that place. But it only takes a mindset shift. Stefan, you remember this. I thought it was crap what you were talking about. I thought that the mindset stuff was ridiculous. But I had to get the science into my head about it and not just think it's, something fun to believe in. Right? There is real science and science means there's something spiritual about it too for me. Like this is God hardwired.
100%.
And that's what God wants, to believe in yourself, that Jesus believes in all of us.
Yeah, 100%. And actually what I was listening to the Bible sorry for interrupting you if I did. I was listening to the Bible a couple of nights ago, and Jesus said to, I think, one of his disciples, can you imagine it, that I said disciplines for like weeks until I heard it in English and I realized it's disciples anyways. He said to one of his disciples, he said, watch what you speak because your words come from your heart. And one of the things I always like to tell people is that you need to watch your tongue. Like if you say you're weak, don't wonder why you're going to represent weakness. If you say you're not good, don't wonder why in the future you're going to find proof that you're not good. Now, you should not go around and lie because it's very difficult. I tried it actually, not lying, but I tried going out in the world and pretending who I wanted to be and just speaking like it's very difficult. But the one thing that I find so helpful is decide who you want to be, speak like that person, at the same time do the action to prove that you can be and that you are that person. Because if you just speak it without action, it's not going to work. And I mean, faith is action. I don't know if what you guys say would interest me a lot. Faith is displayed in action. I think so many people believe in God, and what they have not understand yet, and it took me also a while, is that if you truly believe in God, then would you not take the action? Would you not take the risk? Would you not take the leap? Because that's faith. But for this, I find you need the energy, you need the fitness, because I was numb. I mean, Angelo, you asked me when was the time when I decided I need to stop playing small. I didn't even realize that I was playing small because I was so numb. You could have told me I wouldn't even recognize myself playing small. But it took me being healthier and having more energy and more awareness and spiritual relationship also and awareness, so I could see it. I need to change. Yeah.
So good. So good. And Stefan, I want to talk about the root word. Discipline and disciple are the same root word, and it just means to learn.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So discipline is about learning, right? And a disciple is someone who learns. They have the same root. Yeah. So
wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was studying that word a while back. It was very, very interesting, right? So when you have discipline, you're learning, right?
Exactly.
And disciples are learners.
100%, yeah. And especially you learn so much about yourself through discipline. That's like enlightenment. I think actually material things can give you only little in terms of how good you can feel. I think the best feeling in the world is understanding what you have been thought so wrong for so long and getting rid of this limiting belief. Like I would have limiting beliefs around everything, around women, around my belief, actually. I don't know if you want to go there, but one of the things that made my life so much easier is that I would, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, obviously, but I would pray always for things to happen to me. And for years, I would wake up, and the second I would wake up, I would force myself, now I have to pray, so otherwise God doesn't favor me and I don't get what I want. And it always felt wrong. But because I believed in God, it was difficult to stop that. And I don't say I should have stopped. But the thing is, I realized at one time, because I improved myself to a point where I could see, in my opinion, the truth that I'm not a beggar. God created me to be I have a free will. I can decide to help 100 people. I can decide to harm 100 people. And God made me be in the image of himself, right? He gave us his son. So that gives me all the power I need. I woke up one day and I realized I don't need anything ever again. God gave me everything already. And that moment I started to feel so light. And I wasn't dependent anymore to beg, but I was able to say thank you for the power I have, and thank you, and watch me, God, and help me in my journey. And it completely transformed also how light I feel.
I love that.
I love that so much, bro. I really appreciate you touching there and touching on that subject, because I think something that you said will resonate with a lot of people, especially with people maybe, experimenting in faith or trying to look into faith, and, they see God as this genie, right? Where you wake up in the morning, you say your prayer, and you ask for this and you ask for that. And that's not necessarily wrong to ask, right? Because that's not what we're saying. It's like we're not saying that you can't ask, but the intention and the heart behind it is really what we're trying to look at. So I love that you mentioned that, because so many men are listening and praying to God to solve their marriage, to fix their life, to fix their relationship with their kids, to give me more money, to grow my business, to do that. And it's just asking God to do this. But one thing we fail to do is listen to the questions God is asking of us. And that's a whole different thing. And I feel like you made that switch to, you know what, God, I see what you've done already, and I appreciate this. So instead of that peace that you found, instead of you running towards that peace, you started operating from that peace. And I believe that was the game changer here.
100%, yeah. And if I can add something to this, for me, practical tools are so important, because whenever I speak about something and I cannot tell somebody what to do in practical steps, I feel like I would have not known what to do. 100%. I think every single person can figure out certain routines that work for him, that allow him to be confident in his belief. If I don't have to read the Bible every single day, but I found for myself and the man that I am now, in 2 years, it might be different, right? But right now, for the stage that I am in my life, I feel if I read in the Bible every single day, that's when I feel most authentic. That's when I feel most worthy of the good life. And it's very important that you notice what it is that you need to feel worthy of the good life. And for me, it's also meditation. I meditate in seasons. I don't meditate every single day, but I meditate for months, and then I might not meditate for weeks. But it's something that allows me to every day go through life and feel like, God, I feel so good about myself. I honor you, and I know you help me. And vice versa, I help you by hopefully also inspiring people. Yeah.
What I love about that is finding your rhythm, right? So that's what I'm hearing you say, Stefan, is finding your rhythm.
Exactly.
And again, I'm just going to add, like, this isn't rocket science. It's just discipline. Like, and we have, sadly, too many people who are undisciplined. I know you're aware of that. I want to speak into this too, that this bit about faith, and I really appreciated what you were saying about it. And I want to speak into, I think faith in this aspect of, like, believing in your body, believing in your capabilities, believing in what you can do. Remember that God is outside of time. So he already knows you can do it. And it's not even about can do it. He already knows you did it. Right. So this is just making agreements. That's what I'm hearing you say, Stefan, is making agreements with what God has already spoken over us and about us. I'm going to give an example now, right? So our listeners, if they follow this journey a lot, Angelo has spoken of it and on some earlier calls. I don't see myself. I still struggle with it. I'm getting there. And Stefan, you've helped me a long way because you've spoken it into my life. I don't see myself as a fitness guy, a fitness dude, because I did have those words also spoken over me in the past, like, you're weak. I was tall and skinny and scrawny, but I dedicated myself, and I've done some things recently that people have said, like, people just don't do that. And I'm pushing 50. And what I keep wanting to emphasize is I am not special. I just dedicated myself and I said, I'm not going to believe that I'm these things that people said about me. I am fit. I am strong, and I am capable of running 8 hours, just what I just did last week.
And what you always do, I don't know if I can speak for you, but you always find proof, because if you believe you're weak, it's not enough just to say, okay, now I decide to be strong. Well, who you are comes down to what you do. Like, even when you're a believer, if you believe, but you never do something that shows that you're a believer, are you really a believer? Yeah, you might know God, you might understand that He exists, but are you really a believer? And that's the question. One of the things that I've learned that really helped me so much in terms of understanding the potential I have with the dreams that I have that are unique for me is when every single person has desires, right? You have different desires, Samuel, than I. Angelo, you have different desires than I have. Why do you have them and I don't? Why do you see things in your mind that your family don't, that your friends don't, but you? Because I believe God put this into your mind to show you it is possible if you decide to do what it takes. And the second it is here, and it comes again, God put it there. I can do this. You can trust in this because I don't have the desire. I never had a desire to run for 8 hours, my friend, right? You do, and you can, and you did, right? So every single desire that comes to your mind, it's God that has placed it there. I truly believe that. And that should give you so much confidence that He put it there for you, actively shown it to you that you can do something about it.
That's
Yeah,
so
it's
funny. Sorry to cut you
listeners-
off, Sam. It was this last Sunday I spoke at a church, and one of the things that came out of my mouth, and this was wild because I was telling Samuel, I felt like God was telling me, like, don't prepare like I normally would and just kind of go there and let God speak through me. And I was like, oh man, I don't know if this fits or this doesn't sit with me. But as you mentioned it, one of the things that came out of my mouth was our desires are by design. And I think that's exactly to your point. We each have different interests and different desires. And that is exactly how God planned it to be. Because we can't all be A, B, C. We need some people to fill in different jobs and different roles and different positions. So yeah, man, you're just hitting on a lot of points that are resonating with myself in this season and confirming a lot in my mind. So that's really good stuff. Thank you.
Amen.
So
Thank you so
So
much.
to follow up on what Stefan said in this bit about your desires are by design. So listener, whatever it is that's in your heart, whatever it is that you're hearing, one, it was put there for a reason. Two, you can chase after it with discipline. Three, you can find a tribe. You can find people that share that interest, because not everybody's going to, right? Like Stefan said, there was a group of people in his life that weren't where he was at that time. And I've experienced that over and over again. And before, I want to make this really important point. Don't give up. Don't quit. Like, it took me longer than a decade to find this tribe. I've been looking. Don't give up, right? Some dreams are delayed, and sometimes God's saying, like, how much are you going to put into it? Are you going to give up or keep looking? I know that me working with Angelo is divinely inspired. We don't look alike, but we're brothers.
I loved it.
I wanted to help.
If I can add something to this, I 100% agree with what you say. And I think it is so vitally important that you know exactly what you want. Because I think we can, and we might be able to divide men into more categories, but let's say in 3 categories: men who are hyper successful just in terms of what they want. Like, I think a good definition for success is having a goal and achieving it. If you want to be a teacher and you become a teacher, you're successful. If you want to, have a yacht and you have a yacht, that's successful. It doesn't really matter. There's men who are very successful because they have what they want, what they desire they had, they manifested it. Then we have men who try very hard. That's typically the men that I work a lot with. They are not lazy. They work very hard. They try, yet they don't get where they want to be. And there's a reason for this. And the men who are lazy. Why? Because it takes something, maybe like you said, Samuel, a mindset shift for them to realize time to stop playing small. I think it's so important that you know exactly what you want, because otherwise you can always go around like a chicken, like left, right. And it's like this example of the sea. Imagine you're an open sea. A ship knows exactly where you want to go. Imagine a ship would not know exactly where you want to go. Of course, life would look like this, then maybe back again. But if you truly want to experience God's power, the speed that you can go through life with, and the excitement and joy that you can experience in the journey, you need to know exactly what you want, right? Would you guys agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
I have a quote around that real quick. When you're building a road, this was actually during the Depression era. They were hiring people in the States just to keep them busy, and this road was taking a really, really long time to build because they didn't have a destination. They were just building it so a road to nowhere is very hard to build.
Wow, makes so much sense. Sense. Yeah.
So and that's the difference, right? As you were saying that, I was thinking, so that's the difference between those people in that middle group and then the high achieving group, is knowing where they want to go.
100%. Because both don't give up anyways. You said not giving up is the key. It is the key, right? But
you got it.
I find so many men, they grind hard and they work hard, and working hard is not the solution. I tried that. If working hard would be the solution, then Mexicans would be all super hyper successful because they're the hardest workers in the US. Chinese people often put work over family. They would be super successful. But it's not the grind that counts. It's knowing exactly where you want to go, which is why the introspection is so important. And you can only truly understand what you want if you are fit, right? If you meditate, let's say you want to meditate, if you do these things, praying to God and believe, you know what I mean? So it all ties in together, I think.
Yeah,
it does. Makes sense.
I think it's one of those things, right? In the tactical community, it's like you prepare for the worst by take control of all the controllables. Your fitness is one of those things. Your discipline is the things that you can control. So if you can get that out of the way, then when shit hits the fan, you're in a fight, you're trying to protect someone, whatever, you don't have to think, am I fit enough? Am I going to gas out if I get into this fight? So how much you prepare. And there's this thing, right? Everyone says, like, in the moments of stress, we're going to rise to the occasion. That's not true at all. You never rise to the occasion. You actually, you go down to the highest level of your training. So you don't rise to the occasion. It goes to, you actually fall to the highest level of how you've trained and prepared. So if you've prepared like crap, you're going to most likely perform like crap.
100%. I think it's so important what you say. There's so important, 100%. And if somebody understands this, then why not just do it now? Why would you want to wait to get fit? Why would you want to wait to find out what you really want in life? Why would you want to wait to improve? And so I love this 100%.
Life is short. These days, I'm the oldest person in this room. And people have been talking about it. My birthday is coming up very soon. I have more life behind me than ahead of me. Life is short, and it's important for me to share that with younger people. Like, don't wait around. As Stefan said, don't play small. You don't have time for it. I literally can't fathom that more of my life is over than ahead of me. Like, it doesn't feel that way because of a lot of the work I've done, but it's also true. You can't cheat time. You can get some cheat codes and hacks, like more energy and etc. But there's no time to waste in this life.
100%. My friend, I wish you that you have even more time ahead of you than you had in the past. Genuinely wish you this. Yeah.
So I love. Go ahead.
Can I add one thing? Because I was asking myself, what, like, if somebody's in a situation of wanting to be active and to be able to tell stories also and achieve things, what could I share with this person that really makes him just do something? I think you have to take risks, because I cannot think about a person who took a risk and didn't at least gain something much more valuable than what he lost. Either they win very big or they gain something much more important than what they apparently lose. I think risk is so important, because risk means you make the jump, which ties back into faith, right? Faith means action, means you got to take the jump. And the moment you take a jump, all the doors open to you that you might not be able to see. So maybe ask yourself, what risk can you take today? Little risk, and do it. And then see, life didn't get bad. Life actually got better. And then take another risk tomorrow, and another risk and another risk, and try to be healthy and fit to also make good decisions, obviously, to not take stupid risks, because there are stupid risks, but we all took them. And where did it get us? Didn't make our life worse, maybe in the moment, but eventually it didn't. Praise God, right? But I cut you off, Angelo.
No, you beat me to it. I was saying I love where this conversation has gone. And I was going to ask you, what would be your message to the person, to the man listening to this right now, and they're trying to build confidence or they want to get moving? And you just said it beautifully. And there's so many. Samuel already knows how my mind works. I'm already like, dude, there's so many connections. So I'm actually a little bit more excited to talk on because I think there's just something here that I want to explore, and that's partially where I'm like, yeah, we got to wrap this up and let's get down to business.
Right. I have a
Appreciate it.
question to wrap with.
Please,
for Stefan.
please.
So, Stefan, I know self-image is really significant to you. What does it mean to you? What does that mean to you? And then how do you share that with others?
Very good question. Thank you. Self-image basically simply means how you see yourself in the world, and how you see the world basically directly ties into how you see yourself, and how you see yourself directly ties into how you see the world, right? If you see yourself as a great person, you will see many more great things in the world. But I think you have to do it all. Actually, it ties perfectly into your last question. I think you have to do it all. You need to take care of your health, just as you need to also have goals and decide what you want, and you have to work hard, and you need to be a good person. You need to have faith. I think you need to do it all. And I think the gift about life is that you can do it all. Why did God put you in this earth? If you have a desire, that would mean, think about what you want in life. Probably you want it all. You just don't admit it. But if you want it all, being in good shape, having great relationships, having a mission, whatever it is, then go for it right now and take the risks. And that's going to then prove to you that you're actually that person. You're going to see yourself as that person who can do it step by step more. Because with every risk comes the realization, I'm actually pretty cool. I took a risk that others don't. And I took so many risks in my life where I failed miserably. Like back in the days when I went through the pain of not getting out of that risk what I wanted, I thought the world is going under. Today, I can't wait to share these stories because I'm so proud I did these risks, and what did I even think about? But life is so short, like you said, Samuel, so short. Take healthy risks, take good risks, and best be surround yourself with people like you guys are, men who also have taken risks, men who are willing to take risks and willing to speak about how to be better men, because that's what you guys do. That's what I try to do, being a better man, helping people to be better men. And I think surrounding yourself with these people is like the best thing you can do, right?
One of the things that I want to say as you were sharing that, as we wrap up, and I'll give you the last word, Angelo and Stefan, but this is the last thing I want to say. Like, the thief of our strength, of our courage, that he's called a thief, right? Is evil, is Satan. And the opposite of what he comes to take from us is our joy and our light. And you give people that. You give people joy, and you're full of joy. So I just wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you so much for saying this, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Stefan, I appreciate you being on the show. And I appreciate you helping Samuel see that he is an athlete, because when I first met him and we had this conversation of sports and working out, he was like, nope, not having it. Like, it was not him at all. So when he started telling me he was working with someone and I could see the change in his identity shifting, I was like, okay, I'm going to have to meet this guy, because if you can get my boy over here, get him a 6-pack and, change that whole thing. I'm like, all right, I like it. I like it. So I appreciate you being on the show. I'm just going to put you on the spot now and say, you got to come back and do another one. We got to have you. Go ahead.
And thank you so much for inviting me. It means the world to me. Like, genuinely. Look, I have very high confidence, but the fact that people actually want to speak to me and are interested in my opinion can bring tears to me. I really appreciate you guys for giving me this opportunity to speak here and also be able to connect with you. It means more to me than you can imagine. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Last thing, how can people connect with you? What's your social media? What's your website? Go ahead and give us that 30 seconds.
Yeah. Website is status-alpha.com. Instagram is Stefan Shape at the Stefan Shape, actually. THE Stefan Shape altogether. Facebook is Stefan Shape. Yeah, that's basically where you can find me.
Awesome. Awesome. We appreciate you, brother. We definitely are going to have you back, and we can't wait to run it back.
That's so cool. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Samuel.
Thank you, Samuel.
Yeah.